Welcome back, traders and investors. We have Chris Kaufman on the line. He is CEO and founder of UpTo. Chris, how you doing today?
Great. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no, looking forward to it. Could you, to get things started out, could you give us your education and a brief work background? And you're a Michigander, huh?
Yeah, I've been in the Detroit area my whole life. I went to school at Eastern Michigan. Got a degree in fine art. Uh, Went through the design program there, and from there, I kind of started down the path of working in a bunch of different design environments, from nonprofit to architecture, and then eventually working my way into building websites and apps and starting my own company.
Where did you grow up in Michigan?
I grew up in Livonia.
Okay.
Spent
Okay.
most of my time there.
Okay. All right. So you worked at a couple other companies before starting your own company, and one of them was Quizzle, and of course Shift Digital. Discuss like the most important things that you learned while working, other companies that have helped you out.
Yeah, well, Quizzle was something that we started as a spin-off company while I was at Quicken Loans.
Mm-hmm.
And it started as a way to generate mortgage leads, and we saw some opportunity beyond that in the financial services space, as far as providing credit reports and credit monitoring and things like that. So we decided to spin it off into its own business. It was a bit of a unique situation because it was kind of a startup, but it was also something that we had the backing of a large company behind us. So we had the support and resources there. So it was kind of a safe way to start a company. But at the same time, we faced a lot of the challenges that you would face, starting a startup, as far as building a team and finding a right market fit for our product and things like that.
And in your experience at Shift Digital.
So Shift, somewhat similar situation where it was an early stage company, a bit different because it was on the agency side and we were doing a lot of client work. But something that I continue to run into at early stage companies is, I think the biggest challenge is building the team. And as your revenue grows, as your product grows, as you grow as a company, one of the hardest things to do is to continue to grow that team to support all the things you want to do, and finding the right people who are going to work well together and get the work done, and building a culture around all of this um, without really losing a sense of who you are as a company can be really difficult.
And so you work for these other companies, and then what finally made you decide to start your own company? And did you get off the ground right away, or did you have a little bit of a rough start?
Well, I had started a couple smaller companies in the past while I was working for these other companies, and I think I always had the bug to want to go out and do my own thing and create my own product. And um, my partners and I, we had an idea that we were all really passionate about. I think we got lucky that we were all in the position to be able to leave our day jobs, start a company. You know, Getting some VC funding definitely didn't hurt. And it was something that we really wanted to pursue, and something we saw to be potentially a huge opportunity. So we all quit the day jobs. We started working on this, and 3 years later now, I think it's the best decision any of us ever made.
And so tell us about your idea and what you're doing now with UpTo.
Sure. So, when we first started out, we were more of a social platform with a calendar built on top of it. So, we were kind of looking at some of the other social platforms out there and seeing that, um, Twitter and Facebook were showing you things that were either happening right now or happened in the recent past, and there wasn't anything out there really showing you what was going to be happening a couple days from now, or a week from now, or 2 weeks from now. So you really never knew what was going on with your friends coming up. Um, so we wanted to build a platform around showing you, what was going to be coming up in the near future. In doing that, what we found was our users were wanting to use our platform as a full calendar replacement, which we hadn't built it for. There was a lot of core calendar functionality missing from the app. So in this last iteration, we went back in, we rebuilt it from the ground up as a calendar. So it has all of the core calendar functionality that you would look for in a calendar app on your iPhone or Android. And on top of it, it has some of the social functionality, a content network of about 20,000 public calendars you can follow. So if you're interested in sports, movies, music, TV, anything like that, you can follow side by side with your existing calendar, but it's on a secondary layer, so it doesn't clutter your native calendar. And that's the approach we're taking now. Out of the gate, it's been going really well for us. People are loving what we built. We're getting more positive feedback about our product than we've ever received before. So we're really happy about the direction we're going in.
Okay, and you've worked in a lot of different industries, really covering the whole gambit. Can you talk about, some of the similarities as well as some of the differences between the different industries you've worked in? And also, which one did you enjoy working in the most, and which one do you enjoy the least?
Well, one thing I've noticed about them all is they've always been very fast-paced environments.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in financial services, there's a lot of mortgage rates change on a regular basis. The markets are changing, things like that. So just keeping up with the pace of that, and especially marketing around things like that. Your marketing strategy changes on a daily basis depending on how the markets are doing, and you're targeting different demographics. You're targeting people in different financial situations. And your target can really change on a daily basis just depending on who the market is catering to at that point. When I was at Shift, I was doing a lot of automotive and new home construction. So, obviously, market factors play into that as well. A little bit different because in those industries, strategy tends to be planned out much further in advance. So you kind of have a sense of what you're doing for 2 or 3 quarters ahead of time. Whereas in financial services, it's changing every day, especially in mortgages. It's changing every single day. So you're constantly shifting strategy and shifting your approach. As far as what I've enjoyed the most, it's what I'm doing right now. I love the tech space. I love what we're building. It's great owning your own company and controlling your own destiny because you really can change on a daily basis. You can figure out what's working for you. You can look at your metrics and say, okay, what we did here works well. What we did over here didn't work so well. So,
Try something new.
Right. Let's try something new, and we can. We don't have to deal with any bureaucracy or any lengthy processes to make changes or anything like that. We basically make the decision and go with it. In addition to that, what we're doing in Detroit has been a ton of fun. It's been a great experience being part of the tech renaissance and the rebuilding of downtown. We're really excited to be a part of that.
Okay, and so you talked about a lot of different things, but what if you had to identify 1 or 2 things that's been key to your success in the ultra competitive marketing field? What would you say those are?
I think the biggest thing is building some personal differentiators. So working on your personal brand, making sure that you're known in the industry for what you do, building a really strong network in your field. Those are the things that are really going to set someone apart. in every industry, and especially tech and marketing, there are a lot of people who are really good at what they do. The problem is so many people are doing it in a silo or in a vacuum, and no one really knows about some of these people who are doing really great work. You gotta get out there. You gotta meet people. You have to build a social presence, and you have to really make yourself known, and that'll set you apart.
Okay, and who would you say your main competition is out there?
Right now, there's a few competitors in the calendar space. Sunrise, Tempo, they're some of our biggest competition in the app space. As far as the website calendar platform, biggest competitor is Google's embeddable website calendar. But
Okay.
what we're doing on the web, we think we have a much easier to use, much more beautiful experience for people to embed on their website. But there's not a ton of competition out there right now. There's enough that we see some validation in the space, and we know we're definitely working on a problem that people feel some pain points around, but it's also not a space that's oversaturated with competition. So we think we're in a really good position right now.
Any opinion on Facebook or Twitter? I mean, obviously, you have a nice following, using these medians. Any opinion on those stocks at all? They've, have gone some different courses, but do you follow the daily price action in those issues?
Yeah, and I think they both have their merits. I think I find Twitter more useful for casting a wider net. Facebook is a lot more personal for me. As far as their performance as companies, I think they both have a lot of potential as far as their ad networks go.
Right.
And for us, we've used both to advertise our product, and we've seen really phenomenal success on both fronts.
On both of them. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they're both very affordable. We're able to get pretty granular as far as who we're targeting. Twitter's new app install ad cards have been great for us. The mobile install ads on Facebook have been great. I think it's really going to depend, who takes the ball and runs with building out their ad platform and taking it further than they've done now, because they have so much great data, and they have so much great information on their users. They can do the kind of targeting that advertisers have dreamed of for decades. So whoever can really crack that and figure out how to optimize for their advertisers, I think is really going to take off on that front.
Okay, interesting. And to close things out here, what are the future plans for your company?
So right now, we've built a calendar platform that has apps for Android and iPhone and a web platform. What we're really doing is focusing on the content network right now, and we want to build out localized content. We want to build out contextual data for events. So, if you're looking at an event in your calendar app right now, you have kind of basic event information, but if you're looking at a sporting event, you should be able to see scores. If you're looking at a TV show, you should be able to see reviews, and maybe it's playing at 8 o'clock, but maybe it's running at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock too. So you'll just be able to see lots of contextual information around events. We want to get really granular on this stuff.
Okay, we've had Chris Kaufman on the line, founder and chief creative officer of UpTo, a Detroit, Michigan company. Chris, thanks for being on, and thanks for your insight on marketing, and hope to have you back again soon.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.